Squid Game is a 2021 South Korean drama created by Hwan Don-hyuk for Netflix. It follows contestants in a deadly game of survival to overcome financial debt. During this, they are controlled by the wealthy and observed as a sporting event. At face value, it is obvious that the series depicts a dystopian society where capitalistic values run rampant on socio-economic status. However, upon closer observation, it can be found that female characters in the show are portrayed in a way that is diminishing in the age of modern feminism. This is an issue in Korean media that downplays and neglects the role of strong female characters. In Western dystopian media such as The Hunger Games and Divergent, it is more common to see a female protagonist in the main storyline, oftentimes becoming equal or even of higher value to her male counterparts. This representation is missing in South Korea's Squid Game, despite being a widely globalized piece of non-Western media. Themes of capitalism overshadow the underlying misogyny in the show, so it may be less obvious to viewers. This is important as the subtlety of it all can lead consumers to develop unconscious bias against women in society. The research in this video will analyze the factors that make up the underlying sexism portrayed in this media, focusing on the existent and non-existent roles that women take on in the series. Today I'll be providing an insight into the ways that Squid Game marginalizes women in Korean media. Obvious misogyny can be shown in the fact that male characters generally do not want to participate in games with female team members for the assumption of lesser physical strength, or the trading of sex for male protection in the case of Han Min-yo. However, I will be focusing on the more subtle marginalizations. The most prominent way that this is achieved is through victimization. Despite every character already being victims of their socio-economic status, women are further victimized in the game through their interactions with each other and male characters. To define a victimized character, we understand this implies their need to be saved, generally by a male hero. When this plotline does not play out for any of the female characters in the show, they are automatically placed in a sympathetic light by the audience, categorizing them as victims. Even the character of Ji Young, who heroically sacrificed herself in the hopes of her friend becoming a victor, is reduced simply to a victim when Sai Byok does not win against the male competitors. The other main issue with misogyny which is evident in Squid Game is the overshadowing by male-dominated storylines. Whilst Ji Han and Sai Byok are teammates throughout the show, each of Sai Byok's storylines are reduced to subplots, minimizing her character to the person she is when she's with males. When becoming aware of this pattern, it becomes even more prevalent that even her dramatized death becomes a mere contributing factor to Ji-hun's revenge battle with his childhood friend, which leads to his eventual victory in the game. This emphasizes the notion that the women of Squid Game were predominantly used for an audience sympathy reaction, to juxtapose the cold brutality that most of the male characters emulate. The removal of a focal female storyline also reinforces the victimization of women in Korea's dystopian media. Squid Game is set to release a second season in late 2024 and a finale in 2025. However, there is still a disappointing, noticeable lack of new female characters in the season 2 cast. In order to reimagine the gender roles depicted in season 1, it would be ideal for a strong female lead to emerge in future seasons. Casting a woman in the same heroic light as a male protagonist would challenge the previous stereotypes that were reinforced in the show. This would remove the social norm of victimizing female characters by overpowering them with male ones. Alternatively, more Korean media could emerge which follows strong female characters that would benefit the modern feminist movement in East Asia. This could include a solo female protagonist or even just a woman of equal value to a male protagonist counterpart. This would allow the separation between woman and victim, a distinction which Squid Game fails to make. In conclusion, the apparent erasure of strong female characters in Squid Game is supported by the subtle misogyny in Korean media. This is achieved through the victimization and reduction of the main female characters, both in their life and deaths throughout the show. The marginalization of these women throughout the series is a brutal depiction of female representation in Korean media through the eyes of a male director, Hwan Don-hyuk. Throughout the series, their character development and individual storylines are overshadowed to accommodate for the success of a male counterpart, shown in the character of Ji-han. Gender norms play an instrumental role in dystopian media, and it is very evident from the analysis of Squid Game that more often than not, the scales tip in favor of male characters.